13th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay. Shalom, everybody.
Hello, Rabbi.
Thanks to Luke for hosting the meeting.
My pleasure.
Sorry for the inconvenience. So we're over here on
Morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Morning, Phil.
Good morning. Just remember to tell me to mute, if I have to mute.
So far, you're okay.
So far, so good.
So far, there's no background noise from anybody. That's great.
Yeah,
Good way to start.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got to the Mishnah on the other side of the page. If somebody wants to go over it, that's what we did. So we start off with a round of applause for
Hooray!
Well done, gentlemen. Baruch Hashem. Another Amud of Gemorrah. Tremendous. And now we go on to another Mishnah, which is really a continuation of our subject that we've already been discussing, what it says in this Mishnah. And now we get to see the Mishnah in its natural habitat on 86b, very top of the page. And we want to call on Roy to lead off the reading of this Mishnah.
Will do. My privilege. Mishnah. This Mishnah continues the discussion concerning the payment for humiliation. Hamavayesh is harum. One who humiliates a naked person. Hamavayesh is hasoma, or one who humiliates a blind person. Hamaviyesh is hayoshain, or one who humiliates a sleeping person. Chayv is liable to pay for that humiliation. V'yoshan shavayesh, but a sleeping person that humiliated someone else, potter, is not liable. Nofal min agag, and if one fell from a roof, vahizik uvayesh, and injured and humiliated another person, chayv al hanezek, is liable for the damage. Upoto al haboshet is not liable for the humiliation. Ad she'ahe miskaveh, in sum, one is not liable for humiliation unless he intends to injure. That's the Mishnah.
Okay, so she is Kavin. Very good. So let's take a look at, we have Rashi's here on the Mishnah. I don't see any Rashi here on the Mishnah. Where's the Rashi? No Rashi.
No.
There's no Rashi. Okay. Unusual Mishnah, it has no Rashi. Okay, so So we see in these three cases, someone causes busha to someone who is arum, suma, or yoshen. He is chayev. And then someone who's yoshen, who causes embarrassment, he is pater. So we're going to see why it is that he's pater in this case. Naful min agag, or if he fell off the roof and he caused hezek and busha to someone, he'll be chayiv on the nezik, but not on the boshes. And the rule is because he's not chayiv on boshes until he intends. What does he exactly intend? Intends to injure, intends to cause boshes. That will probably be a subject of the Gemorrah, because it's not clear from the Mishnah. Somebody who's sleeping doesn't intend to do anything, and somebody that fell from a roof, he didn't intend to fall from the roof, so he certainly didn't intend to cause anything by falling off from the roof either. So, okay, so we will see. Let's see the Gemorrah then. So we go to Alan to start off the reading of the Gemorrah, Tana Rabbanan.
Okay, the Gemara elaborates on the Mishnah. Tana Rabbanan. The rabbis taught in a brisa, Birshu or Rome, Chayev. If one person humiliated another while the latter was naked, he is liable. The Aino Doma, Birshu, Birshu, or Rome, but humiliating him naked is not comparable. Lebishu, lebush, to humiliating in clothes. Birshu, vice, mer horts, chayev. If one person humiliates another in the bathhouse, he is liable. Me'eno doma, birshu, bevase, and merachotz, but humiliating him in the bathhouse is not comparable. We will show Bashal to humiliate him in the market.
Okay, let's see if we have any Rashi now. This first Michlim is from the previous page. Aram Barboshes, who we did not have yet. Beis Merchatz we mentioned, but maybe let's keep going in the Gemorrah. Let's keep going in the Gemorrah.
When it says humiliating him here or humiliating there, not comparable in the bathhouse or in the market, are we going to see which is worse or why they're not, what the difference is?
Well, we could infer from what the Gemara said previously. Einu doime baisho orum lebaisho lavush. Right? It's obvious over there that the inequality is that the busha of the orum is less than the busha of the one who is lavush. So we're mentioning the the first person first, that he's the one that has less busha than the one that we mentioned afterwards. So when it says over here, Eino Doma Baisho Beis HaMerchatz, the Baisho B'Shuk, we mean to say the same, it's the same structure of the sentence. So that indicates to us that the amount of busha suffered by the one in the Beis HaMerchatz is less than the amount of busha suffered by one in the marketplace.
Roy, if you look at footnotes 8 and 9, they say the same thing that Rabbi just said.
Right.
That's the rule. When you say Eino Doima this to that, you mean that this is less than what you say at the end. That's the structure. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go to Omar Mar. Omar Mar, so we'll just continue with the reading. Lou, you want to start the reading at this point? Omar Mar.
Amar Mar, Master said, V'yesho arom kayev. He humiliated a naked person, he's liable. Arum bar boshes hu. A naked person, is he subject to humiliation? Amar Rav Papa said, my arum. What is arum? De'ata zika bar vin hu le mane. That a wind came and bunched up his clothing. V'atahu, and now there came, or he was, the linahu tefei u vayisheya. Lifted it up more and humiliated him. So in other words, Papa is saying, what's the case? The case is the wind came and blew his skirts, and then a person came along taking advantage of the situation and lifted the skirts up more. And that was the humiliation. I don't know how that answers anything.
It's changing
Okay,
the meaning of the word room.
What?
It's changing the meaning of the word room. That it wasn't really dafka. It wasn't specifically naked. It was just a case where he did a little more on disrobing.
But is Rav Papa answering the question, is a naked person capable of humiliation, or is he just saying something new?
Well, he's trying to say that the question was with the Omer Mar was it was talking about, and that's what we have to try to read the Rashi and see. It talks about, it makes it sound, the thing was the case where one naked person, say people in the bathhouse, when one naked person is embarrassing another naked person, so should that first naked person be chayav? After all, he's naked already and the second guy's naked. So what's going on here? So that's the question. Once he's naked, how is he going to do it? Rav Papa's answer, he really wasn't fully naked. He was just making him more naked. And that's why there is boshus involved in uncovering greater. Let me see if this Rashi helps here. Second line, the Rashi. is the Arum Bar Boshesu, that the naked person is somebody who is liable. And here it's a bitmia, and this is a wonderment, a surprise. Kaven, since the ain mafkid lelech, because it's not, so to speak, he's not particular to go a room to go out naked. This guy, bifnei b'nei adam, before other people, naked person. He's not embarrassed. Mi havi bar boshes. How could he be somebody who is boshes? How can he be considered someone who's can be humiliated? After all, he doesn't care if he's naked or not.
Yeah, so in other words, the Gemorrah is, when it says Omar Mar, is bringing an excerpt from the Brisa, and the Brisa says that the Brisa says Bishu Orum, someone causes shame and embarrassment to an Orum, he's chayav. So the Gemorrah is in wonderment about this Brisa. How could that be? How could it be that he's chayav for embarrassing someone who is Orum? And Rashi's explaining what's the astonishment of the Gemorrah. And Rashi's explaining that such a person who walks around in public without clothing is not a person that is embarrassable. And so therefore there would not be any compensation if someone caused embarrassment to a person who's Urim in public. So therefore Rav Papa has to come along and explain what exactly is the case in the Brisa, that the Brisa mentions that this person is Urim. What does that mean? Does it mean that he's walking around without any clothing? No, he's not. That's not what happened. What happened is he had clothing, and the wind came along and blew the clothing up, and then somebody came along and lifted his garment up even further, and so that's the case that the Brisa says that the one that lifted up the garment further is going to be liable for. But presumably the Rav Papa's answer is agreeing with the Gemorah's question, and that how could it be that someone who walks around without clothing in public, that you could be responsible for embarrassing him? So the answer seems to be, according to what Rav Papa is saying, that in economy there is no compensation in a case like that. The Bryce is not talking about that case. Okay.
Sounds good.
So good. So now we're going to go over the next din of this Bryce. Bishu b'beis merchatz. Okay. Let's do who hasn't read yet? Phil hasn't read yet. Or Phil's read the Rashi. So we go back to Roy.
Beishu b'beis merchatz chayiv. The Brisa also stated, if one person humiliated another in the bathhouse, he is liable. Beis marachatz bushes who, but is someone in a bathhouse capable of experiencing humiliation? The Gemara answers, Omer Rav Papa, Shiviyeshu al gam agav hanaha. Rav Papa said, what happened is that the assailant humiliated the victim by exposing him at the river where he was bathing.
Shabaishu, he embarrassed him by the river.
Hmm.
Okay.
So-
We're going to see the Rashi now. That explains what Roy just got through telling us.
Rashi
See it
is like
inside in the Rashi.
the Beit Merchatz, the bathhouse. Bnei Adam Omdim Arumim, people stand naked. The aim hemboshes, there shouldn't be any, if they're standing in they're expected to be naked in the bathhouse, so there shouldn't be any humiliation from them. They don't feel any humiliation. That's part of being in the bathhouse, expected.
So therefore, what's the Gemorah's question? Over here, Beis Merchatz bar Boshes who? Someone who's standing in the Beis Merchatz, is he someone that is capable of embarrassing?
There's a footnote, number 14. That is, a bathhouse mentioned by the Bryce is actually a river where people sometimes bathe. However, due to the public nature of the place, the bathers do not disrobe. Thus, the victim simply lifted his feet slightly to bathe his legs.
Okay, Phil.
I heard you. I heard the buzzing right now. I'm going to mute.
And the
Thank you.
assailant came and further exposed him. Right. The bathhouse mentioned by the Bryce is actually a river where people sometimes bathe. However, due to the public nature of the place, the bathers do not disrobe. Thus, the victim simply lifted his tunic slightly to bathe his legs, and the assailant came and further exposed him. The assailant is therefore liable for humiliation, but not as much as the victim had been fully clothed in the market. So now we're not in a bathhouse, but we're in a river.
Okay, let's see the
That seems to contradict the Rashi. The Rashi said that people stand around naked, and the footnote that Alan just read said that they don't.
well, is there a source for that footnote? We don't seem to have a Rashi that says that here.
The victim simply, so it says here in the footnotes on page 86b, the assailant came, the man slightly lifted his skirt up to bathe his legs, and the assailant came and further exposed him. It's a Rashba, Mary, Yam Shel Shlomo.
You know what the problem is, Alan? You're
Yeah.
reading footnote 14.
Right, yeah.
That's on the next part of the Gemorrah, Rav Papa. That's not on what we're reading now.
Okay.
If you look at 13, that's what we're reading now. People normally disrobe in a bathhouse.
So in other words, the Gemorah's question was that, as I understand it, that the Gemorah thought that the Brisa was talking about a case where someone embarrassed a person who was in a enclosed bathhouse, not outside, not by the river, and he would be liable for that. And the Gemorah questions that. How could that be? Is the person who's in a bathhouse, is he somebody who is he a barbocious? Everyone in the bathhouse at some point is standing there without any clothing. So why would it be an embarrassment for this person? Why would it be an embarrassment for this person who came into the bathhouse and then someone removed his clothing? I guess that would be the Gemorah's question. Which, since people are not embarrassed to be in the state of being disrobed in the bathhouse, so that means that the person that removed the clothes of the person who is standing in the bathhouse, who did not yet remove his own clothing himself, somebody else did it, there wouldn't be any liability for it. That's how I would understand the Gemorah's question.
Consistent with footnote 13.
That's what it says in note 13?
Yeah, it says, it asks, how is it possible to humiliate somebody by exposing him in a bathhouse where everyone is naked?
Yeah. Right. I mean, you might say, the guy says, look, it's one thing when I take off my own clothes, but I don't want you to take off my clothing. But the Gemorrah doesn't recognize that as being any significant level of boshus that you would get compensation for. Because at the end result, he's like everybody else there. No one's going to think anything of it. No one's going to even pay any attention whatsoever. He's not been embarrassed, says the Gemorrah. Okay, so now along comes Rav Papa, and Rav Papa says, no, that's not the case that the Brisa is referring to. It's not a base of merchats like that. The Bishoy al Gabe Nahar. The incident happened by the river, by the banks of the river, I guess. And like you're saying over from the Rashba, what did the Rashba say again exactly?
The bathhouse mentioned in the Brisa is actually a river where people sometimes bathe. However, due to the public nature of the place, the bathers do not disrobe. Thus, the victim simply lifted his tunic slightly to bathe his legs, and the assailant came and further exposed him. The assailant was there humiliation, but not as much as if the victim had been in the market.
Okay. Okay. So, I understand now. So in other words, people don't they bathe there, but they don't remove their clothing. They're not standing there like they are standing in the Beis HaMerchatz without clothing. So surely that would be a case of liability if someone came and exposed somebody that was bathing there. Okay. Okay, we go right. Oh, so that's why we had to go to the Rashba, because there is no Rashi on that statement of Rav Papa. Okay.
Right.
Okay, now we go to boy Rabbi Abba Bar Bamel. Whose turn is it to read now? Roy.
I've read. I just read now.
You just read now.
Didn't
Okay.
So top, this is my turn maybe. Top A6B2, the Gemorrah
Okay.
poses, on the top of A6B2, the Gemorrah poses a question regarding the payment for humiliation. Rabbi Abba Bar Maimon, Rabbi Abba Bar Mamo inquired, Yeshu, Yeshan Umes, one person humiliated another while the latter was sleeping, and that person died in his sleep without ever realizing it had been humiliated. What is the law? Gemorrah is puzzled. What is he asking? The Gemorrah explains the question. Omar Rabbi Zabed said, Hochi Kama by your, he's asking this. Mishum Kishufahu, is it because of a feeling of embarrassment suffered by the victim? that an assailant is liable for embarrassment suffered by the victim that an assailant. So there we go. He's asking this. Is it because of the feeling of embarrassment suffered by the victim that an assailant is liable for humiliation? For whom mis lehu lay to sue for, and this victim died without having any feeling of embarrassment. Oh, Gemorrah mishum zero sohu. Perhaps it's because of the public degradation in which he subjects the victim that an assailant is liable for humiliation. For horror always way, and here this assailant degraded his victim, even though the latter was unaware of it. There's a big footnote.
What difference does it make? What?
There's a big footnote.
Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the Rashi first. Lou, you want to read Rashi?
Vyashu Yashan. He embarrassed a sleeping person. Vyash Adam Yashan. He embarrassed a person who was sleeping.
Okay.
So Rashi's just filling in the word Adam. Umes, and he died. Mitoch de Naso below Hekir de Ashto Se Asa Lo Ze Mahu. Okay, so he died. He died in the middle of the giving of it. What's this word? Should not toe.
In the middle of his sleep.
In the middle.
Shenato is his sleep, and Shenato is his sleep.
He died in the middle of his sleep. And he did not Hakir. What's Hakir?
Realize.
He did not realize that he was embarrassed. That he did to him this. What is the case? Or what is the law?
Right. Right. So that was the question that Rav Avi Bar Mama posed. Biyashu Yashen Mahu. What's the din? So Rashi explained for us what exactly was the case, and he pointed out the critical issue that he did not the victim, since he was sleeping, and then he passed away in his sleep right after the busha was done to him. He never had any sense or recognition of the fact that he had been embarrassed. He felt no embarrassment. So what is the din in such a case? So the Gemorrah asked, what exactly is the Rav Avi Bar Mamla asking? And then Rav Zvid volunteers to explain what the issue is. So there's two sides. Whenever someone asks a question in the Gemorrah, he generally has two sides to view the matter, and he's not able to be machriya. He's not able to say definitively that one side is the definitive side over the other. And so now here comes Rav Zvid, and he's going to tell us what the two sides that Rav Abba Bar Mamel had that he couldn't that he was in doubt about. And so we do have some some Rashi over here. Kisufa and Zilusa.
Kisufa, says Rashi, means chafais panim. I assume means embarrassment.
Yeah, that's an interesting word. Chafias panim. Oh, you know that this is a word in the Megillah. Remember when what was they covered his face. They covered Haman's face. That was it. He was a chafui rosh. And chafui literally means kisui. They covered it. They covered his face. That was the indication that he was chayiv misa. He's fit to be executed. And so it's very interesting that Rashi uses that same expression over here. What exactly is the why Rashi uses that expression is interesting. Perhaps one could say that the reason is because, I actually have a note over here. They say that someone who feels shame, it's natural for a person who feels shame that he covers his face. He covers his face. He doesn't want to see anyone. He doesn't want anybody to see him because he feels great shame and embarrassment. So, in other words, the chafias panim is a siman, is an indication that he feels the embarrassment that is done to him. And so, if that is the reason for if that is what the issue is, that the payment of boshis is mishum kisufa, because of the embarrassment that the person feels, to such an extent that he would cover his face in shame because he feels the shame that's been done to him. Over here, there was no such thing. Hamesley, he passed away in his sleep. Leisley kisufa. He had no such embarrassment. He had no such feeling of embarrassment over this, what was done to him. And according to that side, he would be exempt, the assailant. Oh, Dilma, maybe the reason is that you pay for boshis is mishum zilusa. And now we have to read Rashi, zilusa. What does that mean?
Zilusa. Miz lazul bo bifnei rabim ba'af al pi she'eno sham al libo. So it's maz lazal. Is that
Mezalzel. What's the word? What's the shorish of the word mezalzel?
mazel?
Zilu, it's
From the
cheapening.
word zol. What does zol mean?
Making it less. He's cheapening him.
Yeah. Right?
So Rashi says it's a cheapening of him in front of many, and even though that he's not there, it's on his
Eno
heart.
Sam Alibo. It's a sin, not a shin.
She'eno sham.
Right.
So even though he's not there,
Even though he doesn't, he doesn't place the matter of the cheapening that happened to him, alibo, on his heart. Meaning, he doesn't become embarrassed by it whatsoever. That does not mean that there won't be payment for this that was done to him. It's not a matter of him feeling the pain, the embarrassment and shame that has been done to him, the cheapening. It doesn't matter that he doesn't feel that. It doesn't matter that apopisha eno sam alibo, even though he doesn't pay any attention to that. According to this reason, according to this sad, this second sad over here, the reason for paying boshis is because someone did something to someone else, which intrinsically of its own the act itself cheapens the person in front of other people. So according to that, it wouldn't matter whether the person passed away after this act was done to him, because the assailant did he was mezalzel in this person that was sleeping. He lessened his value in the eyes of other people. He caused other people to think he was making light of him, making him cheap. Doesn't matter whether the person was embarrassed by it. He wasn't even aware that anything was done to him. Okay. So those are the two stadim. And now, with the time that we got left, do we have any time left? We have no time left. It's already 12:36.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
thank you,
So
Rabbi.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All the best to everybody. Thanks once again
Okay,
for
well,
All right, thank you. Bye.
Amen.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Alan. Bye, Lou. Bye, Roy.
See you.
Bye.
All the best.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow,
Welcome.
Messi.
Welcome.